Well, if it's lunch or dinner time, let me suggest what you should have. Just get online and try to find the whereabouts of Truck and Trav. Cause the menu's always changing, just like the open road.
Welcome back to another episode of the Open Mic Podcast with me, your host, Tom Hirst, brought to you by Richland Source, Newsroom After Hours. Today we have Cody Nicholas in the building representing Bonfire LTD, not a label, incorporated thing. Cody, please tell me about what is Bonfire?
So Bonfire Nation LTD, first of all, as Tom said, is not a label. It's really it's a punk house that grew up as we grew up. We didn't hand our punk house down to more degenerates. We just bought an LLC for it. Yeah. And so now it's really just a more legitimate way to bankroll. I say bankroll as if there's money, but to make everything in my musical endeavors legitimate and really kind of work away from my regular day-to-day jobs, so I can just kind of eventually do whatever Bonfire Nation LTD is doing. So whether that be Narrow Arrow, the math rock band, or the Touch, the punk band, or Apollo Zoo, the R&B, hip hop, or we got jingles, man. Tom and I wrote Tom played drums for a jingle that never got released.
Oh yeah, that never did get released, did it? Yep. Man, that was so.
Porky's driving.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's really great. I've been so tempted just to post it, but it's like no, because that's not how a jingle works. Then they get all the benefits. But it's a good jingle, man.
We could bleep out Porky's every time.
See, that's the other thing. It's like I'm waiting for Porky's. It seems to be getting its its stuff its hat on right.
Yeah.
But if there was another 2-syllable drive-in diner that popped up, Porky's isn't a part of the rhyme scheme at all.
No,
so that'd be
Oh, there's a Ashland whatever diner. There's a AW drive-in diner in Ashland. You could hit them up.
AW.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, unless they have a name, like if it's like Rodney's.
I wish it was like Ashland something.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But anyway, Bonfire. So jingles.
So all things music. It's an art production company.
Okay.
So like the reason it's called an art production company is because those are two very vague terms. And it's set that way because it needs to right now kind of be vague. It's a website. It's bonfirenationltd.com. Okay. And then it's a website and a tax ID number right now. So we sell stuff from just Bonfire Nation merchandise to Narrow Arrow merchandise and the Touch merchandise. Yeah. And so it's a label in a sense. It's label-like. But also my another partner other than Ernest Mahoney, who's co-founder. It's actually his name. He came up with the Bonfire Nation. Yeah. It stems back to when we lived in Boston together. Okay. And we found a sticker in the basement that just said Bonfire Nation. Oh. And he ripped it off and put it on the door to our bedroom. And so our bedroom became known as Bonfire Nation. Also because there was a bit of smoke coming out the windows, and that was funny to us. Yeah. Because we weren't allowed to be degenerates then. So it was like our secret little Bonfire Nation where we could. It's our little room in Boston that we were paying $400 each to have. So stupid. Yeah.
Big cities, man.
Big cities, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Yep. Have rich parents if you're doing the big city thing. That would be sick. That would be sick. All my friends who had that were like having a great time out there. But so, my younger brother, Mike, he is former Navy and has always been into pretty much whatever he's wanted to be into and succeeded at it. But he built the website and has his clothing line on Arles Barkley.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So Arlie the Destroyer is the name of his dog, his rescue dog. Arles for short, and then she barks, Arles Barkley. But yeah, beautiful. So he's got a whole clothing line that he's launched on there. As far as the look of the website, it's the most legitimate looking. He's done he does a very good job. You can tell like anything that's hung up with the website a little bit is 100% like me still figuring out how to make it.
It's the cornerstone of the company.
I'm such a Luddite with stuff like that sometimes. Like I felt confident. I feel confident texting out a smartphone like finally at 32. You know? Like the way I did on a flip phone in high school.
That swipe thing ever with the... Does your phone have that? Where you just like move around and write the word with your finger?
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't know. Jake's really good at it, but
Jake Henry?
Yeah.
He that's how he writes his text out?
He used to. I know he was doing that for a minute. I don't know if he's still back on that game or not, but he said it was amazing. I don't know. If you believe Jake at all, I mean...
I don't, but I still want to try it.
Yeah, right. I don't know why you would. It's not much of a point.
It's not much.
Yeah. So are you guys looking to branch out with bands as it grows, or are you still mostly just trying to facilitate your own projects?
100% right now. I'm still trying to figure out how to make this a good monetary system for Narrow Arrow and The Touch. So we don't necessarily have to play gigs in order to generate some money because like especially now that we're putting out vinyl records, it's only getting more expensive and there's no more vinyl plants, and that's kind of where my heart is as far as helping bands out is I want to put the Bonfire Nation LTD logo on records, on vinyl records. And the fact that there's all this demand and not more places opening up only tells me that that's like gonna be a thing for a minute. You know, not that it hasn't been. It was only from like 1990 to 2001 that vinyl wasn't the most number one way to buy a hard copy of the stuff you liked. You know? So that's really where my heart is. But specifically when it comes to putting out bands. Even though it's not a label, you know, so the website is essentially just categories of the projects. So you go to bonfirenationltd.com and there is, I always talk about it like the Nightmare Before Christmas when Jack Skellington goes and sees the trees and like one's Christmas and like all the little holidays. So Bonfire Nation is the tree website with all the little trees. So you'll see the logos of each individual project on there, and then you click on it and that brings you to that. So it's really more of an umbrella of art stuff, but specifically with it is when it comes to music and bands, because I know my brother's got a clothing line and he's not from Mansfield, but when specifically with bands, it is Mansfield specific when it comes to the music. That's my vision for it. We've looked at like other artists and stuff for like visual artists and things, and that's not really where like my head's at. My younger brother has looked at some stuff, like some artists, and sent it to me and been like, what do you think about this person? And every time is like, but there's somebody I know personally who does a similar thing that I prefer, and they're like right in Mansfield. So I've got, you know, initially Adam was up on the website, but I just got overwhelmed with everything, with The Touch and Narrow Arrow and doing the vinyl. I'm all very new to this.
For sure.
And so, but that in my mind will eventually come back around. Dive Bomb, Jake and I have talked about, Jake Henry and I have talked about when Dive Bomb gets the records, me doing like a little bonfire release on the website for Dive Bomb, and just very much keeping it all about Mansfield. And I just like Mansfield.
Right.
It's always treated me good.
Yeah.
If it was essentially going to be Mansfield, or I was going to have to go home where I was raised after like I dropped out of college.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, Mansfield is it's in a recession at the time, and everything still is cheap. It's been not as cheap as it was.
Right.
The first Bonfire Nation I was renting by myself for $250 a month over on South Diamond. And I had to pay the utilities too, but it was just me, and it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. And I had a full fenced-in backyard, and it was just a gentleman I met at Relax, because I was working at Relax, and Paul Kemmerling says, "Hey, I know this guy. He just inherited a house."
Yeah.
And so I lived with this person who's passed away. All of his stuff was still there, and that was kind of the handshake deal. So I just lived here by myself while they slowly moved his stuff out. And, if you want to talk about paranormal experiences in my life, that was the peak of them. But,
fair.
Yeah, I was great. I wouldn't trade that time for anything. But I did that for about... I lived there for about 8 months by myself, and then Mahoney and Mark Knoll moved from Salem, Massachusetts, because they were basically about to live out of the car. They had nowhere else to go. And I told them I'm renting a house for $250 a month by myself. It's just in a place in Ohio you've never heard of.
And the world was never the same again.
Yeah, and then here we are, just like little transplants.
Man,
little playground. It was now, now the codes and permits are cracking down on the DIY shows, which it's a tough time.
Yeah,
but it means that the community is big enough. The music community is big enough now to where it needs to get legit, because professionals and buildings and legal issues are becoming a thing with the amount of people that are interested. So it's a frustrating time, because like the mothership has to get their stuff together.
Yeah. It'll only make it better in the long run. I feel like
it's the next step, and it's an annoying step because it takes it out of this, independent, we'll do whatever we want. But nobody was ever like going around being, well, except for those train car kids at the mothership who were graffiti and stuff. But that's why things got to get legit.
Exactly. Weeds out that crap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Hopefully
separate the wheat from the
hardcore punk, skater, whatever, graffiti, whatever, like the underground scene, hopefully hasn't gotten, up. Hopefully hasn't gotten too bad of a reputation.
Yeah.
To where it like kind of puts a stain on that community, because it's been awesome.
It really has.
It's been so awesome. The mothership is such like huge important thing to have a venue that can support small to mid-sized bands, because otherwise we got the Electric Company. Yep. But it's an awesome venue. Yeah. It's just big.
Too big.
It's just a little too big. It really is to make it not make it worthwhile
for local underground DIY shows. It's just a little too big.
Just a little too big, but something like the Electric Company, where it's got a stage. A stage. Yeah. A stage. It's crazy. Like, there's so many talented bands around. It's like we don't have a stage for small to mid-sized bands.
Right.
With, as well as just a stationary sound system. Yeah. With a sound guy. Things like cities have. But it's because we got to get legit with those things like cities have.
Dude, it's a necessary evil. Unfortunately, I think, or not even evil. I shouldn't even say that, because like it's just a necessary part of getting legit, and actually caring about something.
I guarantee you, the people in charge of all these jobs, they have a job to do.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm sure they understand that not all of it's necessary or whatever, but it's what you got to do in order to do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually, I need to hit back up with Aurelio. We were trying to get the captain on to talk about all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to have Aurelio and the Captain Garnes and myself come and talk about
I'm curious.
All the hoopla.
I'm curious. I'm curious about the hoopla. I know there is some.
I don't know. Apparently somebody's been calling the cops. Is what I've been hearing,
and I've heard some names, a name at least thrown out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's so funny because it's Mansfield.
Yeah.
As much, it's the bad gas travels fast, man. You can't burn bridges around here. You don't get in Facebook beefs.
Nope.
To all you up and coming artists, get off of line.
Yeah, The internet will ruin.
Don't start beef on the internet with people. It's not real.
It's not worth it. It's not real. No, that's perfect.
No,
it's
you
not
don't
real.
know that
that's
person
not the real world.
actually. No.
Absolutely.
Everybody's kind of using it as their diary. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's like it's not okay if you ask me, but it's just understood that people just get on there and pour stuff. Don't start throwing hands in your comment section.
Yeah, man.
People, it's pointless anyway.
Yeah.
Like nobody even cares. Yep. That's in between top 10 worst movie scenes of all time. And Reader's Digest reasons on why you shouldn't visit Ohio. And then your comment is in amongst like 50 other comments about your little opinion about something somebody said. Like, don't do it. It's not real.
But all the more reason to legitimize the music scene and build a proper foundation that will not get wrecked if somebody gets pissed off.
Yeah, because all anybody's worried about is a legal issue, like somebody getting hurt.
Yeah.
Somebody doing something that puts all of us in a situation where we don't know what to do because there's no, So it just all needs to be done, and it's dumb that it's not dumb. I want to talk shit about it, but it's not dumb. It's just how it works. Like, do you want to play?
Right.
Do you want to play? Because it's going to be better once we get it all above board.
Yes.
We know it can't be messed with. We know it can't be sabotaged at that point, which is why the electric company is a great place to throw a show right now.
Exactly.
Even though it's just too big for like a lot of the things that I need.
Yeah. So absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's a perfect way of putting it.
But also with the electric company, 21 plus.
Yeah.
You know, and the best you can do in a lot of cities is 18 plus. But, I mean, you play the drums for Star 77.
Yeah.
Great, awesome example of a talented young band who wants to do it, wants to play gigs. But they don't have a real place that's going to teach them how to go to cities and play a real place. Do a monitor check.
Right.
Do a sound check.
Right.
Show up an hour at a load-in. Yeah. Get everything set up and, do it legitimately, and this town could be producing young. I've been the ensemble and guitar instructor at Pioneer Performing Arts for the last 11 years, and I have had.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Wow,
it's crazy. I'm 32 now. You know, I started that job at 21.
Holy crap! It's been that long.
It's been that long, and I've seen so many young artists. I mean, the kids who run the mothership, Nick Ulrey, and I call them kids. They're not kids.
I know.
You know, just cats. You know, kids is a catch-all term. You know, Tom. You know, Tom's a kid I know sometimes. You know, I watch these. They're in great bands. And you know, but they came from. I had them in the Pioneer program. Yeah. And not that I'm taking credit for. They were already amazing, wonderful, head on their shoulders, musical vision. I just got to cater to that. Yeah. But it's like the fact that when they graduated, they had places to go play gigs with their bands in town, like Relax or, you know, the Mothership, Bonfire Nation at one point. It was a reason to stick around. You know, they didn't have to move to Columbus to do a band. They didn't have to move to Cleveland to do a band. And then you start building this art community. Because, like, musicians are a special type of artist to where, like, other artists look up to them even. You know what I mean? Like, every actor, Johnny Depp wanted to be a rock star. But, you know, he just, acting was it. I don't, he's had a lot of different bands, you know. But it does always seem to be, like, being in a band and playing music is it's an underrated thing for a young person to do to start a positive influence, to cause a positive influence. You know, especially Star 77 at Relax last time I saw him. There's so many young kids looking at him with stars in their eyes at their peers. It's just like, that's not going to make you pick up an instrument and want to like make music. And absolutely. Absolutely. It did when I was going to shows in high school.
Right. No, seriously.
And you saw a band playing a show, and that dude's my age.
Right. No, I mean, that's, you know, people, when I was 16, I got asked to be in my first band, and it was like kids I went to high school with, you know, like, and it was every weekend there were shows at one point in time while I was 17, you know, and I mean, seriously, like, I think about this a lot. If, like, you really want to affect people, you really want to, you know, make the world a better place, you start with the younger generation. And if the younger generation has nothing else to do, what are they going to get into? It usually leads to trouble, right? Idle hands is a devil's playground, right?
Yeah. Right.
And you put music in their life, give them something to do on the weekends to go hang out with their friends. You know, there's nothing more positive in my mind than that. And like, so it's just like, you know, we need, and I think, like you said, eloquently, there needs to be a place that shows kids what actual shows look like, prepares them for bigger shows, better shows, more professional shows, and gets them out of any situation that might lead them to harm in the future. You know?
Right.
And doing that you need a proper place to do that.
Right. And and get over this stipulation of like this. I hate to throw around the generation thing, but it's my best way to explain it. This boomer mentality of what's in a band. Parents, listen up. A band can monetize on so many different aspects of being in a band these days, whether it comes to merch or selling singles. That little iPhone, that smartphone in their hand, or that internet gives them so many ways to be creative with their music specifically and things they're creating. I've seen it. I've got students right now who know how to access the internet have bigger streams than Narrow Arrow because they know how to navigate this thing. You attach merchandise to Spotify, now you're selling t-shirts like this. It's a real thing. It's not like one band gets a big old contract anymore and then they make all the money. It's gonna be hard to make money, but to like not cater to a kid's dream because it's not gonna be financially successul. That's some shit that I grew up with, and like it needs to be gone. It should have been gone kind of then when we had MySpace and way to navigate and book like professional things.
Absolutely,
you know.
Absolutely.
But it's even more so now.
An absurd point now. Like absolutely absurd.
I just booked this Narrow Arrow tour, and if I didn't know somebody, I saw their friends list. Who, you know. And I could click there. It was like stupid. It took some time, digging, but
you gotta put some digging into it.
It gets more and more accessible every day. Like, and anything could be monetized on if you're creative enough about it. But bands are cool. People buy things that are cool.
Exactly.
Your band's cool. You got a cool T-shirt. People are gonna buy that. You know. So you can do it.
Yeah, you absolutely can. And it's amazing what happens when you just put yourself out there a little bit. People want to support that, and the internet makes that so much easier to care about something and support it. You know,
even if nobody in your community does, there's an online community where niche stuff happens. Like I've booked a couple noise shows. Like what an underground network of like noise, like there's harsh noise, different kinds of subgenres. You know, it goes on. Booking shows, you know, for like-minded people, like doing that niche, whatever. Dude. Capitalizing on it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think the question I keep coming back to is like, how do we utilize that to get the younger generations into wanting to start bands? Because like I talk to the boys in Star 77, you know, every time we practice, at some point in time I bring up like, yo, are there any other kids at your school that are starting bands? Like what's going on in that world? And they're like, no, nobody's really interested in it, or nobody really knows, or nobody really thinks like that. And it's like,
all the kids that I have at Pioneer right now, they're focused on singles, and they have software where they can program the band. So it's even the mentality is switching with just like band stuff. My brother Aaron, he asked me like, because the Renaissance was talking about doing a studio. I think they still, they have a studio now, but expanding it and making it like a nice space to rent out. And what would it be? And he asked me, and I immediately, it's like a drum and bass, a rhythm section practice space. Like, you know, a little room like this with a drum and a bass and like maybe some other stuff, but like something that caters to where a kid can be loud with a drum set even. Imagine you go to Mansfield Senior and you just put a drum kit in a room and let them rent it out. Like just see what happens.
Dude.
Just see. Like same, you know, same with the bass. It's like the American Idol, The Voice, like whatever. Everybody wants to be a singer. Everybody wants to be a guitar player. You want a job. Like, you play the drums, you play the bass, and that's your thing.
Yep.
You show up to rehearsal on time.
Yep.
You're well-rounded. You don't even have to be fantastic. You don't have to be phenomenal.
Right.
You can show up on time and be good.
Yeah.
Like, but it's hard to be a drummer. Like, I can't believe my house is getting away with so many rehearsals, like, over the years. Like,
Right.
you can hear it blocks away.
Yeah.
5 city blocks. Like, I can hear I live 7 blocks from the stadium, Mansfield Stadium, and when they practice,
right,
like I can, it's like it's at the drive, the Goose, door. It's like it's at the Goose. It's just it's right there.
It's so loud.
Yeah. So my house on Sundays in the mornings and afternoons, it's like I can't imagine like. You would get in trouble for trying to just be good at drums, you know? And like an electronic drum kit is even more expensive than, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Long tangent to say, like, underrated, like, unutilized. It's easy to pick up a guitar, an acoustic guitar, and, like, practice in your room. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Aaron got a drum set, and you knew when he was home, like, trying to get better at it, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, they're so far few. Yeah. That is, you know, always the constant complaint is there's not enough drummers.
Never enough drummers. You got a drummer around town, they got a few projects. Same with, you know, Heath. Heath's playing in the Girds now.
Exactly.
He'll get asked to do more projects too, like if he hasn't already.
Yep.
You know, just because he's a bass man. He loves basses.
Yep.
Playing the bass. He can do other things too, but
there's
proud
definitely very
bassman.
few of them. No, that's good. I like practice spaces that makes a lot of sense. And then, but of course, you know, that's always the issue of like, you either have to have somebody donate or you have to have a way to make money off of that.
Yeah.
And like,
and that's where the Dirty Dungarees has me interested. I saw that one up.
Dude.
But
unfortunately they're going to be gone here. April's their last show, I think.
I thought they were trying to sell it. The dude was trying to sell it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did sell it.
And they're not going to do the hardcore shows anymore?
I don't think they're going to have shows anymore.
Yeah.
But dude, it's the most beautiful, it's the most brilliant setup. Like, you have a bar and a laundromat that does shows. Like, laundromats actually make good money too.
Laundromats isn't a bad business, and it's not expensive to put in either.
No,
and it's not expensive to manage.
No, not at all. That's like the overhead on your labor is what makes it so frugal.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't need much.
No, like so. Yeah, that's like, it's a brilliant idea, is like have this bankroll, the actual cool thing, you know. Even, laundromat is just, that's something like a laundromat, if not a laundromat on top. Yeah, just seems like a good move, especially for Mansfield.
Yeah.
There's so many laundromats here and there, but but they're frequented.
Yeah, they really are. You're at least getting randos in there that are going to listen to something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be in use, and you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, dirty. Yeah, it doesn't have to be straight up punk and hardcore shows all the time. You know, just you know, just a cool space. Even if they're two different spaces, like a second floor is like the thing, and then you know, I don't know. A lot of ideas. There's so many ideas. There's so many ideas.
Well, and like
there's so many available buildings too around here.
The possible. Building with the Richland Sources working on. You know.
Are we allowed to say the address?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna. But yeah.
I don't really know if that's actually a public thing to be talking about or not. I'm assuming it is, but what does it matter?
There's venues being worked. There's venues in the works of popping up. There's people who understand there's a need to be met.
Yep. Yeah. Thankfully. Yeah. And yeah, thanks to Richland Source and a lot of the other businesses around downtown who, again, like I always say it, like, you really don't find music scenes very often where businesses are actually actively supporting them. And that's like,
I was just, huge. It's just, with Zach Heiser, was telling him about the after hours. And it's just like, I can't tell you how crazy it is that a business as professional as the Idea Works is down, and not only down, invested financially into making those events happen. And we need more of stuff like that. But you know, they can only do so much. You know, it's still a pop-up show. They got to pay the light and sound guy to come in and set it all up, and so. But it's amazing that it happens, and it makes an art community respect a business like this so much. And I know art communities aren't well known for having a lot of money until you go to a city and see the most expensive parts of it are the art districts.
I know, right?
And it's just like, do you not see there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect in Mansfield where there's like a bridge of opportunity here, and we're all like the people who are trying to make it happen. Yeah, we're just too broke.
We need some nonprofits that big money can dump into, actually.
I mean, just like we were talking before we actually started, just like these big number figures to me are just, they don't make any sense. We're talking about like a fictitious, it's cute, but apparently the way the world works is it can be conjured. You know, not to go into the gold standard, but, but we've all agreed. Everybody agreed before all of us were born that we were just going to be playing for Monopoly tickets from now on, and
what is the
we're just
Federal
all
Reserve?
going to agree that this $20 is $20, and this $20,000 is $20,000. Yeah.
Yep. It's a joke. It's all a giant joke.
It's strange.
It really
again,
is.
like I'm finding out all about this in my like mid-20s. Like just like my band hasn't made it. I guess I should learn about life a little bit now. And wow, it's fucking dumb. It's stupid.
Oh man, that's so good. So, what is the future goals for Bonfire? Where do you really? I mean, you know, everybody has a vision.
The Mansfield Underground.
Yeah.
Really, it's just about me now after experiencing what it's like to be on like as a part of a company who publishes your music and puts it out there, and to see how it's done and the things I learned along that way. I wanted more than just a record label to come along and sign my band for a long time, because that's neat, but now I'm just out from my band. And I feel like I've just met so many people and like I have 3 other projects that I'm also in love with. So like one to come along, you picture, or at least I have, you know, someday a man in a suit is going to show up with a big fat check that solves all of your problems, because it happens, I guess. I read about it.
Right.
And I say, like, you know, Chris Brown was dancing in a mall and some guy in a suit's like, hey, you know, not that he's a great example,
right?
But you know, I remember hearing about like why he's popular now, and it's like, really,
right?
I played in a lot of malls,
right?
You know, so there's the swallowing of that pill that maybe, you know, let's get away from the notion that somebody's going to show up and solve all my problems, and then let's on top of tackling that, let's take all of these younger bands and projects that I love and that I've seen blossom from the beginning, and even their projects before those projects, you know, bands like the Magnavoxes, the Girds, Bird's Cage, The Touch. You know, watching Mahoney pick up a guitar at 24 and start writing his own songs, you don't hear about that. You know, and they're good songs.
They're incredible songs.
Like Bird described them like the best lyrics with the worst chords. But he doesn't, you know, he gets the right chords too sometimes, you know, but like he's not afraid to pick all the wrong ones, and like it's so awesome to just watch him like make stuff, you know, really, and it gives him so much, you know, just it gives people so much of a purpose. But to just see it firsthand like that, it's like if I can do anything, like building a company off of the back of whatever I'm talking about right now, you know, whether it be Narrow Arrow or whatever, if, you know, I need one thing to go nuts. You know, $10,000 to me is insane amount of money.
Right.
And then I hear about these other contracts, you know, if I could just get one good deal that's like more than that, you know, but let's say somebody comes around and says like, here's $100,000. You know? And it's like you hear about these rappers that you've never heard of. You just hear about the rapper getting signed for like $250,000, you know, and they turned it down because, you know, whatever. But you hear about it all the time. And it's like, man, somebody gave me 50 G's, I could put out 4 bands right now and do a pro level job. But
right.
You know.
Who's got that money?
Who's got it? You know, you hear about these $27,000. My friends getting signed for $27,000 contracts. It's like, all right, so there's something that's going on that this company's paying for something.
Right.
What is it? It's all a big secret with the wealthy people. And I'm coming for you, wealthy people. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out, wealthy people, how you're doing it.
Yep. Dude.
I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, so that's step one.
I love that book.
It's so good.
That book blew my mind when I first read it.
I know, it makes you angry.
It really does, but in like the best
my
way.
Public school didn't tell me any of this shit.
Dude. Yeah.
I'm sure maybe some of the teachers tried, but by the time I got to that point, I was so jaded by the whole experience and this whole social situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, social experiment. Anyway.
Yeah. Public schools are homeschool your kids.
I'm gonna homeschool my kid.
Yeah.
We'll figure something else out. There's enough of us who feel this way.
Yeah.
With the active shooter drills to not send our kids there. Yeah, not to get on politics or anything, but we'll probably homeschool little Augustine.
Oh, little Augustine.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
How's he coming with that drum set?
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
His nephew Liam likes it a lot too when he comes over.
Oh, of course he does. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but
I can't wait
the neighbors
their band starts.
hate us.
Of course.
They love us. They're so nice to our face, but I know they got to get. It's like we get up at like 6 a.m. and this kid's like, if he wants to hit that drum set, we're like, yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's awesome. Yeah. And like if they ever one of them stopped in to give him a birthday present last year, which was very nice.
Yeah.
Because they weren't around during his birthday. Just some nice neighborly things. But then they peeked in and they dropped off the gift and they saw the drum set in the living room. Because I just have it in the living room. Just a little junior drum kit, you know. And she's like, oh. Those are the drums. You're just a little drummer, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but he's gonna be great. It's really like I did music. I was a music therapy major in the college I didn't finish, and and drumming especially is like super great for building fine and gross motor skills. You know, because you got the little bounce that you feel here, but then you got the big swings. So that was really like if he doesn't become a great drummer, I could care less. You know, it's just like it's good for him to get his feet. Hands, feet, hands, you know.
Right.
So
that makes perfect sense.
We'll see. I'd be amazing if he becomes like a incredible drummer. He's got it sitting right there.
Yeah,
but a part of me is like, he's got all of it sitting right there. He might be like, dinosaurs and fossils are like way more interesting. I've seen all these music things all the time.
Right.
I'm totally prepared for him to become a paleontologist or an accountant or whatever.
Right.
Help me, son.
Yeah, please bankroll daddy.
Yeah. No kidding.
But I mean, that's kids are just your retirement plan. Right?
If his mother, if he's as smart as his mother, we're gonna be fine.
Got it stacked.
I mean,
got it stacked. Yeah. But that's how I was. I grew up with a drum set in my basement. I didn't start playing drums until I was 26. And we'll see how he takes to it. He loves looking at all the instruments. I got a video of him at Bonfire messing with the microphone and the PA. Oh, that's adorable.
I put a little like chorus or a little echo on it and reverb, and he's just just like lights up, just like
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, he's got a hood up in the video too, and like I sent it to Mike, and he's like, oh, he's gonna be so metal, dude. He's already so metal.
That's so sick, dude. That's awesome. Yeah.
We listened to the new "See You Next Tuesday" album together last week.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
I know, they put out a new record.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I heard
it's
they
awesome.
were okay.
Yeah, I love it. They're they're from Grand Rapids, and they were a huge band. Right. Yeah, Paris said I used to listen to on my way to school. Dude. 7-minute commute to school, and I could finish the whole album there and halfway back. Like it's like,
dude.
Yeah.
What? When did that come out? 2007?
It was Parasite. Yeah, Parasite was 2007, and then they did Intervals in 2008.
Okay, yeah.
And
I was a junior.
Nothing until January 2023.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay. Oh man. Well, I know what I'm listening to on the way home.
But it's still Fox is the vocalist, and
dude, that band was so good.
The guitar player.
So freaking.
I don't know if the guitar player will ever listen to this podcast. I wish I used to know his name. Yeah. I saw him at Dirt Fest in 2008, and he's got like he's like the scariest dude.
Really?
Just naturally. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
he's just like, he's got these glasses. I don't know. He looks like he could be an authored Satanist or something.
Okay.
Like he's like, he's got scary tattoos. You're the man. He shreds. Like he had this this pink guitar. Yeah, he's... You're the man. He's a... They put out this new album called Distractions.
Okay.
And it's like you can hear him all over it. It's like, it makes me want to make a heavy project.
Well, don't tease me.
Mike of R.L. Barkley, my younger brother Mike, he was a metal vocalist for a long time. So
I know. I want to hear this. I've told
project, you. Pesky Gorgeous.
I've told you, you need to just play narrow error riffs, but down tune them on an 8-string and get a drummer that knows how to blast.
I'm going to dissonant tune them as well. Like, not just down tune, but I'm going to put all the other strings into like a diminished, like open tuning. Okay. And then just, narrow error riff it.
Yeah. Yep. And get a drummer who can blast. And it'd be the easiest. Yep.
Same exact thing, but
for years listening to your guys' stuff, like, that's all, you just have to down tune it.
Just down tune it, and then you obscure. I just open tuned an 8-string because I got a new 8-string, so now I got one to open tune, which I've never done. It's normally in standard.
Yeah.
But now it's in
interesting. That's cool.
That's
real
wild.
Cool.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do it forever.
Yeah.
And it's just the other thing. Like live, like if it's a good song, I don't want to bring another guitar and do. It's 35-minute sets. Right. So this is all being written. This new Narrow Era record is just gonna. We're not caring how we're going to play it live for the first time ever. Because I've just got a bunch of riffs. Like, I got a double acoustic song. Oh. I've got an open tune 8-string song now. I've got a standard tune acoustic. There's just too many guitars. That I just have them all over. Yeah. And, and it's like, what's this one in? Oh, I just noodle, and then there it is. We're working on the thing. Yeah. So we're not, I've always let it, like, nope, this one's in, like, a weird thing. Yeah. Now we're taking all of those riffs, we're being like, we're cool with them now. We're not worried about how to pull it off live.
Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah. That's so exciting.
Yeah. So I'm super stoked, because that was, like, such a huge, it's amazing how many mental hang-ups I didn't realize I've had over the years, like, in my taste and how things are done. Yeah. Yeah. Real amps versus fake amps.
Right. Dude, speaking of that, have you listened to the new Mars Volta album?
I love it.
Dude, I watched a podcast where, what's his name? The vocalist was talking about...
Cedric.
Yeah, he was talking about all of his hang-ups, how he would have never, ever approached an album like that when he was younger because of all these, like,
artsy...
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
I need it to be cool.
Yes. Which those two were the embodiment of that kind of mentality, nothing against them, they're brilliant, but like I think like watching interviews with them, that's what they were,
and I also understand like because they come off as cocky, like whatever, they're not afraid to piss off fans, or lose fans or make fans, they don't care, well, and I think a lot of that actually probably comes from them just getting fucking shit talked all the time, like at the drive-in, like awesome band, but then to break up that band and then like to do Mars Volta at that time probably was like pretty anarchy, like what do you mean you're stopping at the drive-in? Right. But then Delas in the Comatorium, it has apparently Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers,
he plays bass on
all over it, like the
I
entire thing.
just found that out like a month or two ago.
It makes the whole thing so much
more.
Yeah,
it makes so much more sense. Yeah. Dude, that completely changed the way I viewed that album, which is already one of my all-time favorite albums.
So
but like,
it's so
it
good.
Just adds to it.
I can recommend it to like. Well, Heath and like the Iron Maiden, Metallicas, the thrashy metals, as well as prog heads like Rush and things. It kind of the last covers all of that.
Yeah,
like,
I guess you're right.
And also with like if you like Rush, like the high vocal of said, you like Rush because you like Geddy Lee's voice. You can't not like Rush and hate Geddy Lee's voice.
Right, exactly.
I don't know.
It comes with the territory.
Every band.
Yeah.
I listened to that podcast talking about podcasts on a podcast like your favorite band sucks.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, that guy's great.
Yeah,
in the worst ways.
He's the son of David Allen Coe. Did you know that?
No.
Tyler Coe.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But they did. I listened to them do a one on Radiohead, and I understand the whole point is to like dog on Radiohead. Yeah. But like to dog on people like the thing he said about Radiohead was, if you don't like the singer, you're not going to like this band, because he's like, just his voice sounds the same on everything. It's like, would you like any band if you didn't like the singer? Like, are you checking out Fleetwood Mac if you can't stand Stevie Nicks or Lindsey Buckingham's voice?
Right.
Like, so, but anyway, the Rush, the high vocal. I'm a higher sounding vocalist as well, so I like that kind of stuff too. You know?
Makes sense.
I have a higher speaking voice. Some might call it girly.
Never.
No, yeah, I tried to rough it up with my drunken Bostonian that I slip into sometimes. My Fostonian.
Fostonian.
Yeah. Fostonian.
Yeah. I had just met a couple guys from Wisconsin at the place that I work now. They're coming down to, and the one guy described Ohio accents as Southern Boston.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh, okay, I can hear that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty good
Unless you meet those people who think they're from the rural South.
Yeah, well.
The y'alls.
I don't go to
it's okay if you say y'alls.
Little Kentucky too much.
That's where I first landed when we moved to Mansfield. We lived in Little Kentucky.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, great place.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Narrow Arrow release coming up.
Narrow Arrow release.
What else is on the horizon?
So Narrow Arrow is going on tour. March 30th is when we kick off in Mansfield. Should be the mothership.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Okay.
If not, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Probably talk to Colton.
Yeah.
Because that rap show's next week.
Yeah.
So kicking off there, and then we're going out east. It's actually an international tour. We're hitting Montreal.
Sick.
Yeah, just for a day.
I love
Montreal. It international.
That's
and
so
we have some boys up there. And
I won't remember any venues up there anymore.
It's a new one.
12 years ago.
Casa del Popolo.
Okay.
The House of the People in Montreal.
It's such a beautiful city.
Yeah,
I love Montreal.
It's awesome. You're like right. I've never been to Europe, but it's everybody speaks English, but they pretend they don't. Yeah.
The tour I was on, the vocalist of the other band, before we got into Montreal, I think we stopped at a Burger King or something like that, and they were like, he was ordering, and the lady that took his order after it was done, she just went, stupid Americans, and just like spit, like pretend spit on them, like that whole French thing.
It was like the most French thing you'd ever seen.
It was incredible. I blew my mind that was, it seems like such a trope.
Yeah, well, I waited at a Starbucks for the bathroom, just me. I was the only person in line, but I waited. They had a little sign in French on the door, but I had to pee so bad, and I waited for like 10 minutes, and then thank God this little old man came up, and he said something to me in French. And I was like, I don't speak French. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm just waiting for the bathroom. And he's like, he looks at the sign, like confused, and looks at me. And then he understands that I don't understand. And then so he walks away, and I was like, hope I didn't like offend him or whatever. And then he came back with the key for me. It just said, ask for the key. Here you go. I thought I heard someone in there though. Like I was sitting there.
Yeah.
Like listening,
Somebody's
I was
moving.
like, I hear water running. Like I'm bothering somebody. This is rude in Montreal to knock like on a bathroom.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So yeah, we're doing that, and then New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Burlington's in there, Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Lancaster,
Sick.
Pennsylvania, and then home. It's
awesome,
the first.
man.
Yeah, it's the first one we've been on pre-pandemic.
Okay.
Or post-pandemic, excuse me. The last one I went on, actually, I had Hired Guns the last one I went on in 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 4 months before the shutdown.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Dang.
Yep. And it was, the band was awesome. They did great, but the shows, nope. I was like, am I really going to try to book a tour independently again?
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did. I know a lot more now.
Yeah.
But then, so that's Narrow Arrow. We're working on some more music, so that should be coming out soon.
Sick.
Or at least soon this year.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I've accepted now that I'm in my 30s. In my early 20s, when somebody was like, that's going to be like 6-7 month turnaround, I'm like, it's going to be a what?
Right.
I'm going to be 30 by then, Yeah. So now it's like, 3 months, easy.
Yeah.
Like 6 months was like nothing,
Yeah.
So the Touch records, actually, I got a text while we were here, and they should be on the front porch.
Oh, sick.
Here today at some point.
Sick.
So
Oh,
We'll
sick.
see.
Vinyls, right?
Yep,
yeah.
the vinyl record.
Oh, man.
Touch had 250 copies pressed
Sick.
of the record, which is cool because I got to engineer it too at the house too.
Okay.
We did it all at the house.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
But we got 5 different entities, well, 5 total. So Bonfire Nation's one.
Yeah.
But then we have Wolfbats Records, Martinis, and Clubhouse owners. Shout out to Chad, Corey, and Joyce for Wolfbats Records, and they got some more.
They did that, dude. That's one of my favorite things to hear in a long time.
They invested. Yeah. They got 50 records coming their way that they're gonna sell in the bar.
That's so sick.
So rad. Like, more towns need to get behind this idea. You don't need a label.
No.
All a label is just like money.
Yep.
You got a smart kid who kind of knows how to put artwork together.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So Let's Pretend Records, they're the bigger punk. They're an actual punk label, and they put out like a lot of respectable and have for years a lot of respectable punk albums. So that's like really cool to have them be a part of it. So they invested Star Cleaner Records, which is another Shell Shag. It's their record label.
Yep. Okay.
So So New York. So we got New York City and Bloomington. Records like bought into, and
so good.
And then Jake Henry, Henry Screen Prints also.
Word.
Yeah, but he isn't pushing records. He did all the artwork layout for me because I wasn't going to do that in Photoshop and trust that it was done. So thanks again, Jake, for I work for him too at the screen printing shop. So we were trading hours there for a second. I was like, what if I just work for you like for free today if you just do this for me? So nice. But also it was cool to have a 5th logo on there. Right.
Oh yeah. Dude, I'm so excited to see him.
Yeah.
What kind of color vinyl?
It's all black.
All black?
Yep.
Okay, good.
All black. Yeah, I went with the cheapest route I could, and it was still just like, what? This is why it's this is why
hard.
Not every band has stuff on vinyl. You know, we also got tapes too, which is rad, and CDs, but CDs, we sell way more tapes than CDs for Narrow Arrow. Yeah. It's crazy how that happens.
Right. It really is. Yeah. And what's funny is Ryan and Mikey from Star 77 are talking about buying CDs. Like, they are super into them. I'm like, what's going on?
Okay. Well, I got to look at the timeline, but I've been kind of waiting for them to make a little secret comeback, just because you can burn them.
I think
you can make your own.
Well, Ryan, in the truck that he drives around, he has a CD player, and so like they're talking about collecting them and stuff like that.
Yeah, Heath Yoa loves CDs too. He wanted the Touch record on CD, which we'll eventually do, but just pretty much for Heath. We'll do cassettes too. The dudes at Delayed Gratification put together all the artwork for me for a cassette. Sick. And I just printed out the first ones for myself because Bird dubbed a bunch of 25 copies for us. So I needed to make the jackets. But when we do them legit, I'll have probably... I don't know if they'll... I know DGS puts out tapes or will make tapes even though they're not putting it out. So but I really liked working with Ilya and Vlad.
Dude, they're great guys.
And they get right back to you. It's awesome.
They're actually really good at doing what they're doing.
Ilya, I asked him for like a whole cassette artwork layout, and he got back to me like immediately, and then had the whole thing to me within like an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he wanted pretty much nothing for it. Yeah, like $30, I think.
The stuff
I threw him like 50, I think. Yeah,
the stuff they're doing for the Columbus hardcore scene is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome that you got two brothers who are like at it like that. Yeah, because they're
powerhouse.
They got the nice look too. They're doing it nice and clean, and it looks pro. And,
right. Yeah, dude.
Well, it is pro. Yeah. Just semi-pro, I guess. I don't know if you got other jobs, boys, but keep it up. You won't for very much long. Yeah, we love you,
dude. Sick. Awesome. I'm very excited for all that stuff.
Yeah. And then Apollo Zoo.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah,
and then Apollo Zoo is Taj Torrance, local legend Taj Torrance. Yeah. Deanna Torrance's son and I have that project. So we just put out a single.
Nice.
And we're going to do more singles and eventually work our way towards an album. So Taj is in North Carolina. So that's an online project mostly. Yeah. Just sending stuff, file sharing projects. And then the jingles eventually. The jingles are still...
Dude.
The jingles are
those
still
are some of the
gonna
most fun nights I've had in the studio in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, those jingles were sick.
We'll get back on the jingles. There's only 2 officially recorded, but we got Nichols Furniture.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
And
about
they
that.
don't even know, like, nobody who I've talked to at MFD even knows that I still care about doing jingles.
Yeah.
But
We do
I've
too.
got Coney Island Inn.
Oh, yeah.
I've got one for that all mocked up, and I've got Nichols Furniture all mocked up. I just got to make it full band, and we can do it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird thing to do, because if it doesn't go anywhere, then I just have a jingle.
Right.
So you kind of like got to sell them on it first.
Yeah.
But they, I'll just show anybody, and they're like, yeah, but you're just playing a guitar and singing. I was like, it's just a demo. It's called a demo.
Do you know
Like, this
what
isn't done. Like, this is just so you can get the. Do you remember it? Like,
Is it
it's 30
catchy?
seconds
Is it in your
long.
head? Is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
right.
come back in a minute and ask you if you remember any part of it.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I'll ask you tonight. Do you remember any part of that jingle I played you?
Right.
And if you do, well, all right.
Well, then we got something.
Great.
Then give me money,
then that
because
sounds like a
it'll
good
be
jingle.
sick.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ah, dude. No, yeah. Keep
So-
me posted on the jingles, because
I know.
I want back in on that. That was so much fun.
Definitely, yeah.
That
And
was so
that's
much
the
fun.
other thing. It'd just be such a fun way to not only like get involved with like local businesses, because again, specifically Mansfield local businesses.
Yeah.
Just double down everything. Just build it right from here where I know people.
Yeah.
Like you hit me up about this open mic podcast, because we're boys, and then I did an interview with Richland Source before this, and it's just like, that was all put together this week.
Right.
It's just like, why would I not build it here?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Mansfield rules, man.
I love it. I love it. I have I get why people complain and stuff, but keep it up. I don't know. It's more for me.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care what you think. There is cool stuff with the people that care.
Yeah.
So, like Austin Moore of the Guitar Player Die Bomb made his post. Like, love this little city. It's got its problems for sure. It's got a lot of but it's got so much upswing. And it's had so much upswing since I moved here, December 31st, 2011. New Year's Eve, 2011. Relax, it's just coffee.
Yeah.
Working there in February 2012.
Yep.
Desolate. It was that, City News, and Coney Island Diner.
Yep.
Nothing else.
Yep.
And just in that time, you go to those Final Friday concerts. The pandemic threw a wrench in it, but it's all coming back.
Harder.
It's all coming back harder even now.
It's insane how many people are down there for Final Fridays.
I know. They built it.
Yeah.
And they came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Right.
Now I'm not in love that it's cover bands, but that's what's bringing people out, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So I've got some ideas about that.
Yeah.
Final Friday, we know
I'd like
those
to hear
people
those.
over at DMI. We can talk to them about a little DIY side stage for the artsy types right next to it on the same day. Just a building a little further away. I know DMI's building is right there, and they got a cool space. They've thrown a show in there.
Yeah, that's right. Kate Westfall did something in
and
there,
they had
right?
a big stage, I remember.
Yeah, that would be easy.
Do that same day as the Final Fridays.
Yeah, well, even in betweens, like
exactly,
or matinee or after
just
front.
Just something piggyback on the traffic.
Yeah,
just let it piggyback on the traffic for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. Percentage-wise, statistically, at least 20% of those people will wander over.
Just check it out.
Yeah,
not
that's like a couple hundred people.
Yeah,
and that's at least like 100 people.
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's,
even if they don't like the music, it's something else going on other than if you've seen the Red Ball Jets before, or need something to do in between seeing the Red Ball Jets. Like, there's this thing over here, but I don't know.
That's great.
There's a lot of ideas spinning around.
Yeah.
I'd Thinkubator.
Yeah.
Put it in the Thinkubator. That's a John Rubin term.
No.
The Thinkubator. I'm in love with it instead of brainstorming.
I love John Rubin.
No, it's just a thought. It's not a storm of thoughts. It's just like a thought that you let marinate.
Yeah. Yeah. Put it under some heat lamps.
Just let
feed it a little bit.
Warm up slowly over time. See what hatches. It's a perfect term.
Oh my gosh, John Rubin. Brilliant.
So that's pretty much it. That's Bonfire Nation. It's not
Sick. It's not a label.
It's not a label.
No.
So I don't know what I can.
Media conglomerate.
Yeah, I don't know what I can tell you about what it is, but I can tell you it's not some label.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You're not signing your life away.
No, we're not going to label it. I'm not really into labels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a term for that or a name for that, but if there is, that's what I am.
Oh man. Well, Cody, anything? Where can people find Bonfire Nation LTD? Sir?
You can find it at bonfirenationltd.com. for all of your underground merchandise.
Yeah.
Underground Mansfield merchandise. And it's also a physical location, but you can't visit it unless you know one of us and you're invited over. So, you'll start seeing the logo plastered around, I'm sure, more often. The company is promoting a hip-hop show at the Electric Company next Thursday.
Yep.
Next Thursday, and those are some heavy-hitter, up-and-coming rap hip-hop artists.
Yeah.
So if you're a local rapper and you want to network with some real people, the Electric Company is a perfect place to network with these artists. They're doing really well for themselves. High number of streams. You just go to their Spotify. Tracks on tracks. 2 million plus streams on things. Yeah. Geis Guevara. He's a Philadelphia rapper, and he's really coming up right now in the underground. Anthony Fantano from The Needle did
yeah.
He's it's funny, like he did. Anthony Fantano is the man. I love him, even though I don't always agree with he's awesome. I love how he goes about it. Like Logic threatened him in a tune now. Like, it's great.
Did he really?
It's like, I saw it because of Anthony's The Needle talk on TikTok. Yeah, it was just like him listening to the sample of Logic like threatening like to murder him, and then at the end Logic's like, nah, I'm kidding you, Anthony, you're all right. I was mad at you for a minute, but you're all right. It's just like, this guy's getting called out.
That's insane.
So yeah,
the internet, man. That's crazy.
The Needle did a review of Geis Guevara's last album. There Will Be No Super Slave, and it's real socioeconomic conscious rap about just the state of Philadelphia, or the poor areas, the impoverished areas of Philadelphia, and he's receiving a lot of merit. Cool. The rest of the three artists are from Twin Cities, Minneapolis.
Nice.
Yeah. So you have Tabby. Who Tabby is also up and coming. He's kind of a genre crossovers. He's got an awesome singing voice, but his first album, or latest full album, Peach Fuzz, is really more kind of Eminem, Beastie Boys style of like delivery in the rap, but his lyrics are very clever. It's hard to impress me as a white rapper, honestly. You gotta be cool about it. You can't just be really good at rapping. I'm sorry, white rappers, you probably are very good. I don't care if it's not cool. Like, it's gotta have steez, man.
That's kind of the whole point.
And Tabby's it's hip hop. It's gotta be hip. We don't want to hear like that you're the new Eminem. All right, Eminem. He's great. He lives amongst the legends, but it's got to be new. It's got to be relevant. It's got to be the youths.
It's skateboarding styles, everything, man.
It's 100%.
Anybody can ollie, anybody can kickflip, but it's how you do it. How you look while you do it.
Where's the steez? So Tabby's great, and these are all like, just check out all these artists. Student One. First generation Ethiopian from Twin Cities, and his stuff is really more kind of, I'd say, just to generalize, more along the Odd Future kind of stuff. So kind of even more of that sort of skater. The vulgarity though almost seems to be a little ironic. Even like the first track off of his last album, so Student One's Off the Dust. It's just called Yeah, and like he just does this Lil Jon, what, bitch, and it's just perfect. It's just like, you can tell, it sounds cool, first of all, but you can tell it's just like calling out like that kind of stuff. Like, there's almost like a satire to it, but very, they're all fantastic, fantastic rappers. Trevor Bartlett of Author, his new rap project, Defo, is, and that's how it fell into my lap. Is Defo is booking the tour, and I know Trevor from sense. Author, and so Trevor hit me up. He said, I got these big hitting up and coming rappers on this tour. What's Mansfield look like on Thursday, March 8th? And based on the streams, we were like, let's just do it at the Electric Company. They can handle it, and so
that's a perfect space for that.
So tickets are online. March 8th at the Electric Company, and $12 advance, $15 at the door, and then $30 is VIP. $30 VIP. You can meet the artist at 5:30, an hour before the show. You get a signed poster.
Sick.
some free swag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It all says it right here on this card I'm reading. Bonfire Nation. Nation.
Yo, speaking of rap, hip hop, have you listened to Lil Yachty's
I
newest
love
record?
it. I love it. I wake up with Black Seminole in my head. Like,
right? Look, I'm not a Lil Yachty fan. I'm not into that style of hip hop. I get it to some extent, but I'm a little old. I think I don't. But that new record.
So
incredible. Incredible.
It's so good, and what I love about it is that it is Lil Yachty.
Yes.
Because it was so kind of juvenile. I spy with my little eye, girly I can get. It's fun. It's fun. It's cutesy.
Yeah.
But he's actually talking about real life stuff, and the production
is insane.
So Nick Hakim is the gentleman's name. I don't know if he produced it. He produced a lot of this album. Yeah. But he was actually at Berkeley the same time I was, and he was a vocal principal. So I've been following. The whole reason I checked out the Yachty album is because Nick Hakim put out this album called Cometa. Okay. And it's super good. It's like real. Nick's been doing amazing stuff. I wasn't super close with him, but we ate lunch together a couple times. Yeah. Okay. And then a vocal principal who's a male at Berkeley. You're just like, oh. Okay, because you don't see him very often. Okay. It's not like a guitar player where it's like every other person is that. That makes sense. So, Nick posted that he was really proud of Lil Yachty, and he was really like that he got to work on this new record. And then I love Nick Hakim's albums. Like he put out this Green Twins before Cometa, just very chill. You can kind of listen to it all the time, Okay. And so when I heard he did the production, and then you can hear a lot of it on there. It's just very, spacey. Dude. Incredible. Yeah. But spacey funk, like... The lyrical aspect from Lil Yachty, like... he even calls up his autism in it, and being a father with autism, and you're just like, oh my God. Yeah, there's actual depth to it. Actual thought through depth to it. Yeah, Taj Torrance was the one who brought it up. He's like, have you listened to it? And it had just come out like the day before, and I was like, I was just listening to it. I cannot believe it. Yeah. And he's like, I know. I'm glad it was Lil Yachty. Yeah. And I was like, we're all glad it was Lil Yachty. Like, I couldn't... he's perfect for it. Like, he's so out there with his roots of hip-hop, like, that he takes that approach and actually, like, puts it through this depth filter, and it's incredible. Yeah, it really is. It sounded like he was writing some real shit. You can tell he's writing writing real. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Dude. Anyway. Good tangent. Good tangent. Fantastic album if you're interested. Yep. Anything else you want to plug? Outside of my music, Dive Bombs. Hey. Dive Bombs got a vinyl that'll be here soon. Yep. So that's going to be amazing. Let's see. Let me think. Shout out to Mason Stover of Swansea Skag, who officially dropped his album this year, as well as I'm pretty sure he did assisted on a lot of the production for Bryce Lucky's new album. Yes, that he just dropped out. That was really good. Both of those are really fantastic stuff. Yeah. Those were actually my two top picks to open up this show. Yeah. But I've never worked with Colton Ulrey before, and he asked if he could pick the locals. Okay. And I'm building rapport, so I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. So I'm not super familiar with the locals, but I trust Colton. So. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I need to get Mason on the podcast. And the whole reason I didn't fight more, Swansea Skag, if you're listening, is I didn't get a text back, buddy. Yeah. I was going to have to text you twice about it. And then Colton asked me, and I was like, well, I haven't heard from the other guy I asked, so I guess. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have fought for it. Right. It's pretty introverted dude, so I get it. He does his thing, and you can't mess with the dude's vision. You mess with the vision, you mess with the integrity, and then the whole thing falls apart. So absolutely. Yep. He's gotten himself very far just doing his thing. So he deserves it for sure. Absolutely. I have Dog Boy was like the single he put out before the album, and it was just like I spun the shit out of that. I listened to that a lot. Yeah. Dude. Yep, if Wheels on the Bus wasn't on my Spotify Wrapped Up, Dog Boy would have been. Fatherhood. Yeah. It's not even Wheels on the Bus. He likes hops. My son, he likes hop little bunnies. Hop little bunnies. I'd never heard it either. And then what's the other?
At least
one?
it's not
Song called
Baby
Up and
Shark.
Down. It's from the Miss Rachel. Oh, he loved Baby Shark
of course
too.
he did,
but yeah, yeah, a lot of iterations of all those things. Yeah.
Dude, that's one world. The children's music game.
I thought I was
Like the fact that there's like hundreds of millions of plays on some of those
this
YouTube
show,
videos.
Miss Rachel, it's all songs for littles.
Yeah.
All right, and she started this just in her apartment with a friend in front of a camera.
Okay.
And that's got probably like 24 million views on it. And they just she just does a kids show, but in front of just her iPhone camera. And there's no audio or anything. They just made it, put it out, and kids love it. And now it's evolved, and she's doing like sign language, and just like a big thing. Yeah, just we're not trying to like get ASL certified, but to help him communicate with like what he wants and stuff. It's super helpful. Like he can tell us when he's tired.
Right.
He can tell us when he wants milk or to eat or
that's what Diana
whatever.
and Jordan did with Asher. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah, and because they literally don't have the fine motor skill to just pronounce things sometimes, and it's just a little thing you're missing sometimes with these kids that could send them into a frenzy. Yeah, he's the best though. He's a smart kid.
He's a pretty fantastic kid.
Yeah,
he's wild. I love him. Oh man,
and he's tall too. Yeah, and he's a big kid too. But he's a little kid too.
Yeah.
Mystery kid.
Oh man. All right. So bonfirenationltd.com. Check that out. Go to the show next week and see the really cool rappers from out of town.
The Electric Company. Check those stream numbers. Check those albums out.
Yes, please.
Geis Guevara, Tabby, Student One, Defo, Papillon, and Young Legend.
Sick.
At the Electric Company.
It's going to be a good night.
Yeah. Buy your tickets ahead of time, folks.
Absolutely.
It might pack out.
Look out for that Touch
that Touch
record.
album is going to be up on the website soon, as well as some new swag. We're going to do a new merch drop at the website here soon.
That King of the Hill.
Destiny Holt,
dude. Of course. That makes so much more sense. I don't know why I didn't think that.
And shout out to Nick Harris for like really what inspired it is he did the Simpsons logo of Mahoney.
So good.
And then D was like, well, I got to top that.
Yeah,
and then did a whole King of the Hill, which is just absolutely phenomenal. We had to send her a picture of all of us without a shirt on to like make it happen. She even got all of my tattoos in there. Like she drew them in there.
Dude.
So when I was screen printing it, I was like, I made sure like I put it on a high mesh screen, and I made sure I got every detail in there for her because she put in some time. But now I want to do like a 20th century fucks, like with the searchlight, Like, because they have a classic logo and it says something that's about the same amount of letters underneath 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
It says something underneath it that's like the exact same amount of letters as the Touch Ohio.
Yeah, it's like a 20 something company.
Yeah, so
or
I'll probably
like
do one more little Fox thing until we get a cease and desist.
Sick.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll never come. Just keep
I
the ball
don't think
rolling.
so. I think it falls under satire.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
I don't
nobody
know.
cares.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks,
Sick.
Tom. Thanks to the Open Mic Podcast.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Open Mic Codpast podcast.
Fishing on Cape Cod in 1970.
Brought to you by
Codpast podcast.
Codpast.
Yeah.
We need to find some
the history
fishers.
of Cape Cod, like in a podcast.
Who would listen to it?
I would check it out just because of the pun.
Codpast podcast.
Codpast podcast.
I love it.
And it's just some guy from like Southie talking about his vacations on the Cape. There I was, right, Totem. And then next thing you know, I was at O'Brien's, and they fucking dude, like I didn't know where I was. It was some kind of bachelorette party, and just like things like that. And he just talks about that.
Dude, that would be amazing.
And it's just called Codcast.
Codpast.
On Codcast Digital Cable. All right, we're
Thank you for another episode of an Open Mic Podcast brought to you by Richland Source Newsroom After Hours with me, Tom Hirst. Sponsored by Two Cousins Pizza, Henry Screen Printing, and Potent Studios. If you need some pizza, hit up Two Cousins. You need some shirts printed, hit up Henry. Cody will print them for you. Hit up Potent Studios if you need some lighting or video. If it's impotent.
Studio and lighting assistance.
Hit up Lee McIntosh. And Mansfield, Ohio is the greatest city in the continental U.S.
Greatest city
we love you all. So thank you again, Cody, and have a wonderful day, guys.
Well, if it's lunch or dinner time, let me suggest what you should have. Just get online